Hi traders and welcome to the PL Capital Market Review. I'm your host Paul. Today is Friday, June 16th and the markets are now closed. In this video I want to look at the S&P, Nasdaq, the Russell, and oil. So let's start. All right, we'll start with the upcoming economic calendar. And it's a short week with Monday being a holiday in the US. So as far as data points, you have building permits on Tuesday. Powell's given testimony on Wednesday and Thursday. I don't think those will be very impactful to the markets. Thursday, you do have jobless claims and home sales. And Friday, you got manufacturing and services PMI. So, of all the days where the data points coming out might create some volatility, I think would be Friday. The PMI numbers, those could have an impact on the market. But overall, this week will be very quiet compared to this past week. So not too much going on there. All right, let's get to the charts. I'm going to start off with the S&P, looking at the futures contract. And, I believe that we're in this fifth wave. And I can make a case that we just completed the fifth wave today. So coming up here, it's just been a bunch of three-wave moves. Three waves there, three waves there. Three for three, three for four, and then they made a big 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe this is 5 right here. So on Wednesday, and so that's your impulse, and then this is when they made the interest rate decision, and then you got a pullback, and then but after that then we went up in 5 waves. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to me the S&P is in a place where the fifth wave completed. Now I have just one concern, that when I look at the Nasdaq, I actually see one more wave up. So if this is the fourth wave right here, it's a pretty quick fourth wave, but it does give us 3 waves up for a fifth wave. So that's why I'm saying it could be, and now we won't know that this fifth wave is done until we come way down here and take out 4154. So that's a long way away. So when I break it down, when I zoom in on this, I do see that we had a running flat here. So here's 1, that was 2, and then they came down 3, 4, and 5. So now we have an impulse to the downside. So what I'm going to watch is, I expect, and they looks like they already started to correct, so here's 1 and 2. And I expect, they'll come up, they could come up real high. But when they come and they break this low again, so when they break, let me get on there. When they break this 44.51, I want to see the reaction there, because if it's very impulsive, then I'm going to feel like the top is in. But if they come and they just kind of break it and then start pushing back up, then I'm going to feel like this isn't the 4. It could be something else. It could be, I don't know, maybe part of a running flat or something. I got to see the reaction here. But so I think it's going to be really key when they break 44.51, assuming they do. I mean, maybe this is, instead of, I think it's an impulse. Maybe it's like some WXYXZ, but I think that's an impulse. They'll give a correction, and then when we're down, this area here. So anywhere once they break, I don't know where, but I mean, just a more impulsive this move down, because that could be three then, because then this impulse could be one, two, so that's why if they come really strong down, that could be three, you get a four, and then you got a really big impulse. And then I think the five waves are in. So I want to see though the reaction when they break this, because if it just stops, somewhere in this range, and then they start going back up, then it's just a ABC correction, and there's still more up. So that's what I see on the S&P. Let's go to the Nasdaq. So when I zoom out on the Nasdaq it gets it's a little different. Now we do have the same. Here's one, two, three, four, and then they completed five waves. So that's an impulse. And for right now, I've got it labeled three because coming up, there's no clear big corrections, and to me, it almost looks like they're coming up in a diagonal format. Like here's the biggest correction right here, and so it's not very deep, so that doesn't look like a two. So to me, it looks like one, two, three for one, and they came down, just a quick little correction here for two, and then to me, this looks like this all chop was, I think, a leading diagonal, corrected very deep, almost came and broke two, but didn't. So I think that's leading diagonal for one, two, and then you had this, impulse, one, two, three, four, five. So that's why I think it's three. And so that's why I feel this is an impulse too, but it's going to give a correction, and it's just going to come down for four, and then we're going to go up three ways one more time for five, and that'll be an ending diagonal. So that's why I'm wondering, like, I mean, if the Nasdaq goes up and breaks its top, the S&P will too. I mean, there's no way that the S&P is just gonna continue to drop while the Nasdaq goes up. So that's why I want to watch the S&P. I somehow there has to be something I'm missing, because I really think we have to come down for four and go back up for five in the Nasdaq. So the S&P though is interesting. So maybe they're creating some other pattern there. Okay, let's go on to the Russell. So we had this request. So when I zoom out to the daily, and here's the June low. When I look at this, first of all, I mean this whole thing is just sideways, so it looks very corrective to me. It doesn't look like they're ready to go up. So to me, this just looks like, after we came down all last year, looks like just a one, two, three wave move there. And then this wave here, to me, when I look at it, I can make a case that it's like a leading diagonal. So one, two, three waves, and then there's a little one, two, three waves for two. Then you came down for three, and then go up for four, and then one more down. Almost broke the low back in October, but didn't. And so to me, that looks like a leading diagonal. And then it's this piece that makes me, that's why I think this is a leading diagonal, because when I look at this to me looks like there's three waves up to here. So there's like a one, two, three there, and a one, two, three, one, two, three, one, two. So three waves there, and then three waves here, and then I've got five waves here, and so that's a 3, 3, 5. So that's a corrective pattern. And then they came and they broke this low over here. So it's not like this is one, this is two, this is three, and this is four, and now we're going up for five. So that to me, this looks like leading diagonal, three wave correction, and so now you're starting to come down, and now it looks, pretty impulsive, 5 waves down to here. And now this looks like one right there, like an A, B. It actually looks more like WXY. It looks like 3 waves here. WXY doesn't really matter. So that would be like your A, this is your B, and then you're coming up for the C wave, a very, deep pullback C wave. And then when I zoom in on this, it looks to me like they have to go up and break this top one more time. So this 1929 level, when I count the waves, this fifth wave doesn't look done. So, and that would match up with what I see in the Nasdaq. So to me, one more up, and that would complete, I think, the C wave, and then the downtrend should continue. And so all in all, then this would be 1, 2, and then this would be 1, 2. So now if I'm wrong, if this gets broken up here, let me zoom in. 2016, if that gets broken, then this isn't going to obviously be 1, 2, and this, then I have to relook at this, and instead of this being a leading diagonal, then I guess maybe that'd be like a WXYXZ, I guess, because it looks like there's 5 waves. So, but we'll have to revisit that one, But let's see what happens when 1929 is broken. Obviously, if you get a spike up and then a quick spike down, then it's looking like this is 1, 2, and we're coming down for a 3, 4, and a 5. But yeah, first things first, let's watch the Nasdaq and the Russell and the S&P, their reaction when they break their tops. Is there a quick sell-off? All right, moving on. Oil. All right, so oil just kind of chopping sideways in here. And, in my last video, I said that this was looking like an a leading diagonal. I had this, 1, 2, 3, and I thought 4 was just going to end over here and then they would be reversing, but they're pushing it really high. So when I look at it, it looks to me like it's just going to be a big expanding diagonal, and I still think this is going to be a leading diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it's not done yet. So they actually, I think they have to go up one more time, because when I drill in, I think that this is an expanding flat. It's kind of ugly. I agree there, but that's what I think. So I think that's going to be, we need 3 ways for this diagonal for 4. So I think this is 1, 2, and then they're doing an ending diagonal for the third wave, for like the C wave. So here's 1, 2, 3. That's 1. 3 waves here for 2. And this contracting flat here up for 3. Now they're going to come down, and I can make a case that the 4 is in. It looks like, you got like a 1, 2, 3 wave move already. And it's deep enough that could be 4. But, we need 5 waves. So I would expect that, they'll come up in 5 waves, and they got to break this high that they set today, this 72.03. And then for me, that would complete 5 waves, and then that'd be 4. And then I would expect a reversal. So, but obviously, the level to really watch, if they come and break 73.27, then this is not a diagonal, and then they're just making some really ugly pattern here. I mean, it could be that this will end up, if 73.27 is broken, this could end up being WXY, and these three waves are X, and then they're coming up to break this Y level, this 7506, and that'd be a Z. And it'd just be a much bigger correction. And then that 77 level that I've been talking about, that could be in play then. You know, so WXYXZ, you know, somewhere up in here, could come even real high, but you know, somewhere up here, and then, you know, and then that'd be 4, and then we're coming down for 5. So that's a possibility too. But either way, I don't think the low for oil is in, and I guess it's just a matter of, or is this a leading diagonal like I think, or is this much bigger correction still correcting here? So yeah, key level to watch 73.27. If they break that, then I think it's a WXYZ, and we'll break that. But when they break 72.03, if there's a quick drop, I think this fifth wave, you know, could be in play. You know, especially if they drop, correct up, and then drop again. Then I think the fifth wave is in progress then. All right, that's what I see on those markets. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Good luck, and see you in the next video.